Good morning, people. Just so I have a sense, where are you guys from? Oregon? Where? Where in New Jersey?
Hawaii, south. Ocean City.
Okay, I know Ocean City.
Right.
Sir?
Somerset, New Jersey.
Okay, I know Somerset too. Look at the redevelopment project there. On Route 27, just south of New Brunswick.
Bergen County.
Where?
France.
Okay,
Wanacue.
I know one. I'm working in Pompton Lakes.
Chicago.
I've heard of Chicago. I was there. Great city. You know, the interesting thing about Chicago is that in New York, you have to be in Brooklyn or New Jersey to see how beautiful New York is. Because in New York, you're just looking up all the time. But in Chicago, the river runs through. It runs backwards, but it runs through it. So you get to walk along the river through the center of the city, and you get these wonderful vistas. Somebody else?
Ramsey.
Ramsey, New Jersey. Ridgewood. I've been working in Ridgewood. Nice town. Back. Freehold, did I hear? And how about in the back? Where are you guys from?
Ramsey.
Ramsey.
Randolph.
Randolph. Right. Okay.
Closer.
Closer. Victor, where are you from now?
Phillipsburg.
Okay. Way out west, in New Jersey anyway. So, I've grown up in New Jersey. I've lived here most of my life. I like New Jersey. If you're not aware of it, New Jersey is the most densely populated state in the U.S. It's the third smallest state. 50% of the state is developed, so it gives us a distinct reality. Nina's from Oklahoma. Anybody here from a big state? Like
Oregon.
Oregon? Yeah, I guess that's Northwest and big. Anybody else? Nobody from Texas? Alaska? Okay. This is one of my favorite pictures. This is a redevelopment project. The Jersey picture, do you know it? Pier Village, Long Branch?
Yeah. There last night.
How'd you like it? Where are you from?
Seabright.
Okay, so you're just up the road. Where'd you eat?
They have a prefix, excellent deal at the Avenue.
Avenue. Oh, that's a great restaurant. In fact, I didn't bring a pointer, but Avenue is right over here.
Right next to Ceramic, another great restaurant.
So I'm peripatetic. Anybody know what peripatetic means? I like to walk and talk. I clerked for a judge who was a judge of the Appellate Division Supreme Court many years ago, frighteningly 35 years ago, and he said, "Bob, you're peripatetic." I didn't know what it meant either, so I went in the library, looked it up, and I said, "You're right, Judge." So, this is to give you some sense of New Jersey's reality. These are real articles. New Jersey has what's called smart growth policies. Oregon has smart growth policies, right? You're trying to direct development toward existing infrastructure as opposed to the pattern, and certainly in the Northeast and probably much of the country from the Second World War to about 1990 was a developer, whether it's the Toll Brothers, Pulte, KB, Hovnanian, goes up to a farmer. Can you guys hear me okay? Goes up to a farmer and says, "I want to buy your farm." They negotiate for a while. And then they fight with the municipality. Anybody know how many municipalities there are in New Jersey? 10 years ago. It's getting better. There are 566 as we speak, and next year there will be 565. It's really absurd. It's one of New Jersey's probably greatest geopolitical failures or faults. There were 567. It was easier to remember 567. Now there are 566 municipalities. Princeton, where Princeton University is surrounded by a donut called Princeton Township, and they decided that they would merge, so there will be 565 municipalities in New Jersey. But it's really absurd. New Jersey has something called home rule. So every little municipality has a fiefdom, and New Jersey doesn't have any large cities. Newark is its largest city with a population of about 300,000. The total population of New Jersey is probably about 8 million. So you have 566, soon to be 565 fiefdoms fighting over ratables, over school costs. And it's a tough reality. It's a tough reality to develop because there's no consistency. When I speak on the subject, people say there are too many municipalities, and I tell them we've gone from 567 to 565. And at this rate, in about 10,000 years, we'll have a rational number of municipalities. So it's getting better. Ocean City. This is a reflection of the trends of about the last 20 years in both the legislature of New Jersey, its bicameral legislature, and the governor of New Jersey for about the last 20, 25 years have really been trying to direct development into urban, suburban centers, moving away from the rural centers. This just a little bit more. This was McGreevey. He became a famous governor of New Jersey after about 3 years in office. And that's Freehold on the right. I think somebody was here from Freehold. This is noteworthy because in 2005, for the first time since 1945, since the early post-World War II era, there were more permits issued for residential development in urban and suburban centers than in rural areas for the first time in 40, 50 years. And this was a publication of the New Jersey Builders Association reflecting that economic reality. Of course, in 2006, the world changed and nobody was doing anything for the next 5 years. If it's not apparent, I like downtowns. I just think there's something distinctive about them. By way of disclosure, I grew up in Perth Amboy, which is an old urban city in the center of New Jersey, about 30 miles south of here, opposite Staten Island. It was competing with New York as a port from about probably 1650 to about 1715, and it lost the competition about 1715. And I've lived in a town, Morristown, which is particularly noteworthy because George Washington spent 2 winters in Morristown. You probably all have heard about Valley Forge. They spent a good deal more time in Morristown than Valley Forge, but Valley Forge has just done a much better job of promotion. And I'll show you some projects I've worked on in Morristown. Morristown is the county seat. New Jersey has 21 counties. The counties are kind of a leftover from the Revolutionary period, but we still have counties. They have very limited jurisdiction. Really, the government in New Jersey is really focused either on municipal government or state government. And the counties are kind of a leftover from another era. This is downtowns in terms of economic. Oh, you're not waving to me. You're waving to your friends. Okay. Where are you from? Just to embarrass you a little bit. Where are you guys from?
Parsippany.
It figures. Tough traffic.
Yeah, actually it was.
I know, I was in it. I was in it.
Really?
By the way, how's the office market in Parsippany?
How's the what?
Office market in Parsippany.
There's a lot of empty offices,
That's what I hear, 35% vacancy, yeah.
which is great if you're paying rent.
Right, but not great if you're the municipality hoping for ratables, and not great if you're the
They
owner.
still jack your taxes up, they don't care.
Parsippany is an example of urban sprawl. I guess 50 years ago, it was probably all farmland.
Yeah.
For about 25 years, there was nothing but office development. To give you a sense of context, I said I live in Morristown. Morristown is 5 miles south of the point where routes 287, Interstate 287 and 80 intersect. Parsippany is right where 287 and 80 intersect. Really, no mass transportation, no rail. You get there by driving. Fair?
We're a bus.
Bus, but the bus sits in the same traffic we do. So if you think about, by the way, interrupt me anytime you want, I'm not formal. I put a suit on because they told me I should wear a suit.